Hello and welcome to another episode of the Manufacturers Hub podcast. Today I'm with Luke Appleby from Equilibrium Risk.
Yep.
Luke, welcome on.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. And funny story is, when I first started the business up, sort of 11 years ago, someone said to us, you need to change your name, no one will be able to spell it. And like you've just proven, no one can say it. It's the
Well,
the
I
most
can edit
truest
a
thing
bit
I've
out.
ever heard.
I can edit a bit out. It's all right. It's no problem. I said it earlier. I was like, "It's this." Um, yeah, I don't know why I said that, but it's fine. So obviously, it's been a while since we've spoken before this. Obviously, we've had a couple of calls before. We tend to see each other at shows as well. So I've met a few times. It's been nice.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. It's good to get to know you. I like what you're doing with Manufacturers Hub. It looks exciting. Looks what the industry needs, bringing everyone together.
Thank you. Thank you very much. For anyone that doesn't know who you are, can you just explain who Equilibrium Risk is?
Yeah, so my business, Equilibrium Risk, and we provide security solutions for manufacturers, is the simplest way to provide it. We act as a security manager for SME manufacturers. So all your tier ones will have security managers employed within the business because they've got the resources to it. We provide that as an outsourced function for SME manufacturers.
Okay. And then this is what type of security? So this is, I know obviously there's cybersecurity. We've used you ourselves for cybersecurity. What other security measures do you implement for people?
So it's mainly physical security. So all the physical stuff you can think of, from gates and barriers to electronic security, alarm, CCTV, guarding, and obviously the cyber security as well. We used to do some personal security, but that sort of drifted off in the last sort of 7-8 years on our. But it's mainly physical security and cyber security.
Okay. So I was going to mention that there's a company near me actually have started putting physical security in their metal supply, and they got broken into. They smashed the wall down. Someone smashed the wall down the back of the building. Gates everywhere,
Yeah,
but they knocked a brick wall out and took everything from the back end.
yeah.
But yeah, personal security I think is on the up round in my area, but whether that's just my area and
No, it's on the up anyway, and it's sort of people in the metals industry are massively suffering because the intrinsic value of the asset. It has value in itself. So I think it's underestimated the lengths people go to acquire it, especially in this sort of climate and stuff.
yeah, so with cost as well, and I say metal prices going up as well, it just makes more
Well, it's
sense for.
so yes, a lack of cost. Like there is value in it, so people can weigh it in a lot easier. I know there are checks involved, but people have a way of getting around that. But also, it's extremely hard to prosecute somebody these days. It's extremely hard to. So I mean, you balance that up, and then the risk versus reward criteria, which we talk about. I don't want to do that, right? The risk versus reward criteria we talk about. The reward far outweighs the risk. So that's why they're getting targeted quite a lot.
So do you manufacture these security systems, or do you kind of sub these out to different businesses? You know, different partners. So you're saying about the
No,
security gate automation.
yeah, so our main business model is consultancy. So we manage it from a point of view for manufacturers, and we manage it. So we have like a quarterly, what we call security and focus meetings, where we will assess what the risks are, and we will deliver solutions. So fundamentally, every manufacturer needs security. Like in my eyes, it's the base that in which every successful business should be built. But not everyone needs the same security. Like a metals manufacturer, for example, will require a lot more building hardening to prevent people smashing through walls and nicking off cuts, swarf, that sort of stuff. Whereas other manufacturers might need more access management because they've got a lot more people coming and going, that sort of stuff. So if we understand that every business and if every manufacturer needs security, we also need to understand that not every manufacturer needs the same security. And so we would deliver that based on needs and making sure it's aligned with business goals. And then we will use contractors near to where the manufacturer is to ensure we get that good reaction of break fix time. So if things go things go faulty, for example, we need to be able to fix it within a certain time frame. Specifically, if it's something serious like a gate's being broken or something's been broken into, we need to be able to fix it before the business closes at night. So like 4-8 hour break fix. So that's the way the business operates.
Yeah, also I can imagine. At least you're also using, let's say, manufacturers and suppliers near to where obviously these businesses are. So it's nice to have a range. So some people like using their local connections, so it's
Yeah, yeah.
better for them. And I say it's nice for you since you've got this wider network.
Yeah, I think like lockdown was good in that sense because it normalized video calls. Like the reality is, like from our business, we've grown because of people we've met and get to know. Like the business is not a normal business in the sense that, you know, we sell intruder alarms or we sell cyber essentials. The business is a management tool, so which means they've got to trust in what we say and what we do. And we can only do that by getting to know the person. And the idea that you can get to know somebody now by video calling and doing that on a regular basis is massively changed the business and where we operate. Before, you know, we're based in Huddersfield in West Yorkshire. Before we'd sort of be quite centre mass here, which we are centre mass, but we are growing. We're sort of down to Nottingham, down to the south coast now. We're as far west as Manchester. We don't really go further north than here, to be honest, but we do definitely go sort of Midlands, East and West Midlands, and sort of down south on the south coast. Not quite southwest, but I think that's only a matter of time, to be honest. But yeah, um, the idea that you could talk to somebody from the other side of the world, or for our case, the other side of England, the UK, and still provide a service is fantastic.
With security, I mean, it's a massive thing about obviously trust, like you're saying, because of I say if you're going around there and you're looking at all of their weaknesses in security, then they'd want to be able to trust that you are who you say you are.
Yeah, I think yes is the short answer. One of our core values is trust. We try to give that trust in every interaction we have with our customers. And the only way, one of the only ways we can do that is being completely open and honest about what our thoughts are and the best way to go forward.
Do you reach out to them a lot? I'll say using most people just kind of contact you and say,
Yeah,
right, we need it.
there are a few, I'd say it's about 50-50 contact us to meet. I mean, we're only a small business, four of us, and I'm sort of the main person involved with sort of growing the business. I would say about half the business come to us, half the people I go and outreach to. And to be honest, the outreach is a case of this is what we do. Can I send some information that might help? And that's kind of how it works. And then it takes about a year or so to develop that relationship into a situation where they say, "Oh, can you come and have a look and provide some advice?" And that's kind of generally how it works. And you start small, do something small, and then that sort of develops into something a lot bigger and a lot more substantial, where you've got to prove what we know what we're talking about, if that makes sense.
But most people don't think that necessarily know what they need until you've kind of spoken to them as well, do they?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
and I don't know what they need until I've seen it. So there's not every manufacturer needs the same security as I mentioned. So, and every single unit and every single manufacturer is completely different, and they might have need different requirements, and they might have a different setup, and their goals might be different. We talk about risk appetite. Their risk appetite might be completely different. So yeah, and that's one of the main reasons why I love doing what I do. Like, I know security gets a bad name because everyone's idea of security is like a guy with a radio, like asleep on at night time, whatever. And I'm like, that's the opposite of security. I see it as a problem solving and how you understand space, understand people, understand how it all operates, how it all works, then try and find a solution for the problems. That's where I see security as.
I think a lot
But
of people
yeah,
get scared off, don't they? Especially when it comes to like, say, even cybersecurity and getting hacked and things like that. I think people get scared off.
yeah, because I think the general opinion is if it's going to happen to me, it's going to happen to me. Like people are just this laissez-faire opinion of it. Well, if it's happening, it's going to happen. Whereas if you look at why security happens or why security incidents happen, one of the main drivers is opportunity. So if you leave the opportunity, then it's likely going to exploit it. Also, and that ties in with a lack of security measures. So if you have a lack of security measures and you have the opportunity, then there's a high chance you're gonna fall victim to a security incident, and that's cyber security as well as physical security. But the reality is, as a business, we can control the opportunity and we can control whether our security measures are aligned or not. The other one part of that is motivated defender. If you've got someone who's motivated to do something, but we can't control him, but we can influence him. But then the other two of this nice Venn diagram I'm drawing in your brain is in our control. And as a business, you fundamentally control that, and it's up to you. You make that decision whether or not you want to take proactive steps and say, right, we're not going to let this happen to us. What can we do to prevent it? And that's a difference. Mentally, that's a difference between successful businesses, right, that are moving forward, that are growing, that are continually trying to change things for the better, to those that are static. Like, it's that idea of how can we be proactive and change things for the better, and that fundamentally works from a security point of view as well.
Yeah. No. So as we're on the topic of cybersecurity as well, is obviously you do Cyber Essentials. So what is Cyber Essentials, and how does it differ to, say, ISO 27001?
Yes, Cyber Essentials is just fundamental security from a cyber point of view. So there's 5, 6 controls it looks at. 27001 is about information security. It's an ISO standard, and it looks at how you control information. So from storing it to sharing it to deleting it, that sort of stuff. And it's more of a management system. So very much similar to your 9001. It creates a secure foundation for how you use and share information. The ISO 27000 is a much bigger project, and it looks at, like I say, how you store information and that sort of stuff. Cyber Essentials looks at what's your security framework. So from your firewalls to your password policies, it's a much smaller project, but but in my opinion, it has a far greater impact on your cybersecurity than your 27001, which concentrates more on information security.
So we recently achieved, obviously, Cyber Essentials, obviously for yourself as well, which was actually a
Yeah,
very easy task. It was very simple, very easy, and
it,
yeah.
it is very simple, and it's not strenuous. And the actual reality is that it solves 80% of the problem. Like, it will get rid of 80% of problems when it comes to cybersecurity. And you think, well, why aren't more people taking these steps just to? And as you mentioned, it's not difficult. The steps it's asking you, it's not difficult, but then people don't take those steps up for whatever reason, but because there is a financial, they've got to pay for it. And what
I
one
would say it's, for us, it was very simple. It was very quick and easy. It was done within weeks, really, and then it wasn't really a relatively kind of high cost either for what it was, and like the certification and against your business, and it wasn't really high cost either. So I don't see why people don't.
so it's interesting. If if we flip it and we said that what's the cost, like 300, 400 quid, whatever it is. Like, if you were, 'cause we were having a conversation before we press record, where you pay for a subscription to somewhere where you can potentially get new business. So you spend 400 quid a month, 400 quid a year, and then you could potentially get, people will ask you for quote RFQs to quote for a prospective business. Whereas you're looking at Cyber Essentials and it's like a £400 a year cost to potentially protect you from 80% of the potential cyber attacks out there. People would much rather pay 400 quid a month to get new business, that they might have a chance, than 400 quid a year to potentially that protect them from a threat that they can't really see or know where it's coming from, and in their eyes, if it
I
happens,
think,
it
yeah, but
happens.
this is the same thing as when I say is like sales and marketing as well. Some people are reactive on sales and reactive on their
Yeah.
security. Yeah, they only want to do it once it's happened, rather than, say, doing this first and have everything in order.
So from a sales and marketing point of view, what works best, reactive or proactive?
I think personally proactive all the time.
Completely agree with you. And it's never changed in any sphere, in my opinion. Like, no matter how, it's always been proactive. Whether or not businesses are proactive or not is a different question, I suppose.
It's a bit like it's for long term as well, isn't it? I mean, whatever you're putting out now, you might not see for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months time, but it's coming in constantly,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's
yeah,
being proactive.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, completely agree.
So with obviously the cyber essentials, it was very easy for us, but there's only two of us. So if you had a bigger team, how much longer would it take, or how much more involved in depth does it get?
Right. The short answer is not a great deal. Like, because the short answer is once you've got the foundations in, it's sort of in there. So, for example, if you've got an internet gateway, like if you've gone from 10 employees to 20 employees, the likelihood you're still using the same internet gateway, for example, the password policy would probably be simple to multiply out across everybody. Where it slightly gets difficult, I suppose, is when you start using more software packages. So if you're using different programs for different aspects of the business, then it kind of slightly becomes more complicated in the multi-factor authentication and making sure you're locking down and securing these accounts. But once you've got the structure of how you make sure you've rolled it out, then it's not a great difference. Is the short answer. Um, I mean, even from when you've got your two employees, when you've secured your internet, you've secured your internet, you've got your passwords, and you're managing your passwords across your organization in a secure way, presumably sort of a password manager, how you make sure you got multi-factor authentication on all your accounts. And once you've standardized that, then it's the same in rolling it out for sort of 10 to 20 people. You just got to make sure people are using it. I think there is a there is there is a massive difference in people's understanding of technology, though. Like I think using a password manager and using multi-factor authentication is the easiest thing in the world. But nobody else. There are a lot of people that have got no idea of password managers or using a multi-factor authentication. It's like they just haven't got the patience for it because they don't set it up properly. And I think once you've set it up properly and use it, then it becomes standard. I think scaling from sort of 10 to 20 to 50 people from a cyber essentials point of view is once you've got the structure in place and you realize that everyone's got to do it, it's that change management and getting people to do it. I'm not sure if that
Definitely.
answered your question.
No, 100%. No, definitely. I was going to ask, is there anything you can give advice to people like now of what should they be doing prior to going for these kind of cybersecurity before they come to you? Is there anything they can do prior to coming to you for cyber essentials to make things easier?
Oh, so if we steer away from cyber essentials slightly and look at a more holistic approach to from for the business, I would say, like, what you should do is you should look at what you're making, and then you look at everything you use, be that assets, be that processes, be that people that you use to make that, right? What's that? What are those things you use? Grade them from critical to not so critical, and then start with the critical ones and say, what happens if this goes offline or this breaks, and then have a backup in place or have some process in place to fix it. Or like if a machine, if a CNC machine, for example, gets bricked, so it's unusable, so it gets hacked, for example, like, what's the business going to do? Like, where's the business go? I mean, has it got a backup policy? Has it got an alternative machine it can sort of utilize? Is it got Has it backed up its program to be able to reinstall this program within sort of 3 to 4 hours? That sort of stuff.
So this is
And
this
that
is a
goes,
big thing, obviously, because some of the
say it.
managers we work with only having one machine. I mean, if that goes down, that's everything gone. So
Correct, correct. But so Adam Payne, who I know we both know, he talks about the invisible factory. He obviously he sells devices that monitor machines' performance, and he talks about the invisible factory. Whereas people think their OEE is like 75%, but actually when they start monitoring it, it's about 40% or 50%. You think, and he's like, well, let's upgrade this, let's upgrade your OEE so you're more efficient as a business. But if you're using one of Adam's devices, for example, and you know your OEE is 50%, and you've got 2 machines, if your machine goes offline, you can actually say, well, actually, we've got the capacity in this machine to go up to 100%, and then we can take up the slack. And that's, in my eyes, that's a great security strategy, because you're not spending any money. You've literally got, well, if it goes wrong, we've got the ability to improve our OE on this machine, and we can take up the slack, and we can keep on producing stuff. And that kind of goes back, and that kind of goes to the old idea of like, every business needs security, but not everyone needs the same security. It's about understanding what the goals are, and making sure that you've got resilience built in for the business to survive. So understanding what your assets are, having a backup, having an idea of what to do if it goes wrong in the worst case scenario, but then also consider at the same time most likely scenario, like, and then put things in place to measure those. When it comes to cyber essentials, I mean, once you have an idea of what your assets are, what you've got, when we ask for, can we have an asset list, you've already got it straight away, and that's a simple thing. I think one of the big fundamental challenges for manufacturers currently and going forward is to understand their assets. Like, what are the assets on that network that could potentially get hacked or are a potential vulnerability? And you'll be surprised at how many manufacturers have no idea.
The thing as
So
well
how
is,
can how
if you're talking to some of these, say, smaller manufacturers, so you're saying obviously before about software packages as well. So before they come to you, they want to be putting passwords down for, just say, their CAD CAM, is it the CAD CAM software, or their
yeah
software for their design work? This has all got to be obviously put down as their assets and passwords prior to doing that. Yeah.
yeah absolutely, yeah. And it's sort of and it just sort of, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, doesn't it?
So the
And I think
bigger
that's,
some of the bigger firms are, obviously the more assets they have, and I say especially some of them might be, I say, the CNC software, it could be design software, it could be Siemens
yeah.
and Rockwell, or anything automation software.
But then, I mean, the fundamentals to security's got to make the business better, not worse. So you can't stop engineers, manufacturers from using the tools they want to achieve the aim they need to get. You've just got to make sure it's in line with the right security policies. And once you've got that right, and yes, we have to do it, rather than no, we can't do it, then that's the way security makes the business better.
Oh, definitely. I'll say that, like we said, it's all about being proactive on this, isn't it? So when it comes to factory and site security, what are the biggest gaps you usually find that businesses overlook?
Do you know? So the most frustrating one is open gates, open doors. Like, I think you talked about manufacturer had a wall broken down because they had someone in and nicked their stock, for example. Okay, people going through an open gate to go and nick their stock that's stored next to the open gate is just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, we know it has value, so why are we storing it near an open gate where people can just drive past, clock it, and think, oh, I'll come back tomorrow and pick this up? And what happens the next day? They come back and pick it up, and they might have a truck that's disguised as something else, and they sneak it on. But why is your gate open? Like, just close the gate. It's that simple.
I mean, you're right. I mean, to add on to that, obviously, the business I work for in the daytime, they had a trailer nicked, brand new trailer, parked in the car park outside against the side of the building. Someone drove through the gate, turned around, come hook the trailer up, drove straight out within 10 minutes. It was gone.
Yeah.
Obviously, now precautions, they keep the trailer inside, but it's a lot of money to just go straight away like that. I mean, yes, keeping the gates open, though, you want your customers to come in easily, customers and delivery drivers all to come in, but it's working out other security methods you can use to lock down your assets that way.
Yeah, but it does that. Yeah, but there's technology now that can solve this problem. We don't need to have an open gate. Yes, it costs a bit of money for this sort of technology, but you've got to amortize that over a 10-year period. Technology these days lasts about 5-10 years, so you amortize that cost over the duration of the software. Massively get a return on investment. Even that one one company you talked about where they had a trailer nicked. And what's that cost them? 100 grand?
Well, the
40,
trailers will
40
know it's
grand?
probably thousands. So it's only a small towing trailer, but
Oh,
yeah,
right,
it's
yeah.
still probably thousands.
Yeah. But then you think you amortize. I mean, all that has to do is happen twice, and then but you amortize the cost of for a security system, for example, or updating your security. Like, the return on investment is ridiculous. But there you go. My biggest challenge is getting people to understand it. So is in demonstrating that return on investment. So once you get through the door and you start showing people and getting people to understand it, the return on investment, then it's fine. So to give an example, a company I look after um, up here, they had a near miss where a contractor left the door open for somebody else to walk into the main office. Um, at the time, the receptionist wasn't at their desk. They'd been sent by the manager to do something else. So we reviewed it on our quarterly meeting and said, well, what's the root cause, and what's the potential impact for this, and will it likely happen? And it got to a situation where, yes, it's a high risk. The impact could be severe for the business. What do we need to do about it? Root cause, though, was the manager sending this person away from a desk rather than we don't need to put any more security systems in place. We don't need to spend any more money. We just need to make sure the manager's aware of the risks, the employee on the gate is aware of the risks, and you can solve it that way rather than say, well, we need to. Their first thing was, well, we need to put in a security system on the door. No, we don't. We need to make sure your security is fine. We just need to make sure everyone's educated and aware of what's going on rather than being taken off to do somewhere else. But yeah, if that makes sense. Meandering somewhat in the answer.
But how can staff and their awareness just be as important as CCTV firewalls and systems?
Right, yeah. So I've just slightly touched on the subject. Right. So staff are the superpower when it comes to security. Right. So you can put in a security system, a CCTV camera, you can put in all your firewalls and put in your internet gateways and your secure passwords and all this sort of stuff. On their own, they are only as useful as a chocolate fire guard. It's the people that make them good. So if you get like a half aware person, then they're half as good. If you get someone that's really aware, then it's a superpower. So if you've got somebody that knows what they're looking for in a CCTV system, for example, see something out of the ordinary, then it's gonna be flagged straight away. Same with sort of, if someone notices an email, a dodgy email looks dodgy with a dodgy link in it, and says, "Oh, actually, this looks weird," or if someone gets an email and thinks, "Oh, I'll forward that to a manager," for example, and they click on the link. But if someone's aware of it beforehand, then it's not a risk whatsoever. So culture for me is massively important, and that's a difference from turning like a security program, security plan within a business from being okay to being fundamentally brilliant. And that's no extra cost. That's just integrating a security moment into your tool talks, whatever your team talks are on a daily, weekly basis. Having a security moment in that, where you just have a sentence about whatever it is, keep people aware, keep people thinking about it. It's those little drops that sends a business to super performance from a security point of view, but from any sort of any sort of business function.
Exactly. Yeah, dropping it in here and there with them, with obviously with all your staff, definitely kind of keep top of their mind, wouldn't it? Uh, to be
Absolutely, yeah.
aware. And at the end of the day, the company they're working for, it's in favour of them to keep them from these mistakes, the security mistakes, or whatever it is.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. And once you do that, then you can start really drilling down into return on investment, because you know what it values, um, and how it impacts the business.
So you're also part of several kind of manufacturing hubs and groups. How are you finding being part of these groups?
I think they're instrumental to my business, to be honest. Like I said at the sort of start, it's about building trust, and being part of these groups um, is a way that I can get to know people and build trust. But the reality is, like, you get to know people and you become friends. I know it's all business and stuff, and we're all here to make money and the business to be a success, but you fundamentally meet people and you make friends with people because you're all in the same game of working. But I mean, the idea is to work with people you like and know and trust. Is fundamentally the answer. But yeah, it's instrumental in the business, and I absolutely enjoy being a member of these groups I'm a member of.
It's nice as well. Obviously, when people trust you and you're friends with them, I mean, they can always recommend as well, can't they? So it's a case of, oh, I know Luke, he
Yeah,
does
yeah,
this, and it's great that way, and it's that chain of friends that I know someone.
it is. Yeah, absolutely it is. Yeah, yeah. I mean, business is not hard. I think we make it harder than it is, but it's just about getting to know people and providing the service they need, I suppose.
Exactly. So you want it to be like a happy day to day, really, don't you? You don't want to hate, obviously, you hate what you
Yeah,
do, but yeah,
exactly.
being part of these groups, and then you can share your experiences and the day to day with everyone, can't you?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So if a manufacturer keeps putting off security for another year or two, what's the real risk of doing nothing?
Good question. So security is constantly moving. Threats are constantly evolving. What we were looking at last year to what we're looking at this year and beyond is completely different. Even towards what's expected in the next 5-10 years in security is AI in absolutely everything. Quantum computing is coming. So if you're even if from a manufacturing point, if you're static, then you're falling behind. If you're not doing anything, then you're going to fall far behind. And it goes back to that thing I said at the beginning, that opportunity. And so, what's the perfect environment for a security incident occur? Like this opportunity and a lack of security measures. If we're not doing anything in those two areas, then we're massively going to be left behind. Is the short answer. And that doesn't mean we have to spend money, because we don't. What we need to do is we need to look at what is coming and have an idea of how we're going to counteract it. And if counteract it means just having a resilient plan in place, then that's absolutely fine. That's down to your risk appetite. But if it's serious enough to stop the cogs turning, then we do need to spend some money. But yeah, we just need to have our eyes on the horizon. I think with quantum computing going, I mean, even with AI, let's go back a stage. Even with AI, we've got an idea of what's happening. So we use AI in our day-to-day work. I'm sure you do in your day-to-day work, Rich. But the bad guys do it as well. Like, it's just everything's automated now. Like there's the idea of a guy sat on a laptop the other side of the world with a hood up and stuff is completely outdated. It's just all automated. And then they'll scan and see if there's a vulnerability, and then it'll automate and see if it can be exploited. And then it's not until the last 5% that someone gets involved. But now it can jump across platforms, so it can jump from an email to a WhatsApp messages to an SMS and back again quite easily. It's got the ability to do that. Nowadays, I mean, even if you look at phishing attacks, they reckon these phishing attacks are lasting months of just building trust, not asking anything, and just to build trust, and then until it's that one email that's dodgy, and then you click on it, and then there we go. And that's not taking any resources from a bad guy's point of view. That's just taking a program. Um, so and when you talk about that, like, what technology is in place to counteract that? Like, not a great deal, because you once you've gone past that first initial email and you're communicating with somebody, it's just down to the person, isn't it? Then at the end of the day, they've got to be able to pick it up. People are aware of these things. They are far more aware than they used to be. Yeah, people make mistakes. People will always make mistakes. I think the emphasis, once you've got your basic measures in place, is about resilience and what you're going to do when it happens, rather than if it happens. Have a plan in place for when it happens. And then quantum computing is another game altogether. The idea of, like, encryption, and we're encrypting data, for example. Once quantum computers are commercialized, Like I mean, you might as well just write it in clear. Like quantum computer will just break encryption straight away. So um, I think businesses have got to be aware of that and keep a track of their assets that they're keeping encrypted, because yeah, that's something else that we don't even know where it's going to go, do we? I mean,
No,
that
I should
yeah,
start looking into your cybersecurity after that, especially with those
yeah.
quantum computers as well. I was gonna say, with obviously a lot more people using AI, are you starting to see more businesses come to you for cyber security?
And not because of AI, but because of Cyber Essentials and because of the defense cyber certification. So a lot of manufacturers want to work in defense, and they've now got the new defense cyber certification that's coming out, of which the baseline is Cyber Essentials plus level 0 Cyber Essentials plus a resilient plan of what happens. I've got a terrible chair that keeps going down. Let me just jump it up.
It's
Yeah, so
too many treat Fridays, is it?
might well be, yeah. I'm going to say faulty chair, but you could say you could say too many Friday treats. But yeah, a lot of people are looking for the defense cyber certification, which is Cyber Essentials plus a bit extra. Look at the resilience and what happens should the worst case scenario happen.
So this is obviously for like NDAs and sharing documents, just say in defence and of components that are getting made and things like that.
Yeah, so yeah, defense won't touch you from an electronic point of view unless you've got a cyber essential. So even if they want sort of any sort of schematics or stuff sharing, they won't share it electronically with you. They might share it via pen and paper, but that's about it. Um, but it's funny, you know, I spoke to manufacturers in the past where they're sending stuff that's sensitive, so IP, intellectual property, they're sending it over email without it being encrypted at all. And it's like, well, why would you send it without it being encrypted? It boggles my mind, but it's common practice, to be honest.
So this is one for say manufacturers. Obviously, we have quite a lot on board. Have like the aerospace accreditations and obviously defence. Obviously, one for them if they're looking to get into this game and get the aerospace or defence accreditations, they should also be looking at Cyber Essentials Plus as well. Now.
Well, DCC, so Defense Cyber Certification, there's 4 different levels. There's level 0, which is your basic one, which is Cyber Essentials plus a little bit. Level 1, which is Cyber Essentials plus a little bit more. Level 2 and level 3 are Cyber Essentials plus. So Cyber Essentials plus, and then the top one's like 132 controls to lock it all down, which is quite stringent, to be honest. And I mean, I'm not a technical guy, and it's far above my head, so we've not even crossed that bridge when we come to it, but we'll have to, I suppose.
But these are obviously what businesses can come to you for this, can they?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the reality is we're still running through the first one, so it came in sort of very end of last year. So we're just doing our first one at the moment to get through it. So we've got kind of understanding. That's just level 0. We've not yet done a level 1, 2, or 3, so we haven't got a full understanding of how we're going to deal with it yet. But yeah, the short answer is yes, we can figure it out. I think the MOD in their infinite wisdom always tell you the day after it was come in. So I think they said, oh yeah, it was due yesterday. So now everyone's sort of at least 24 hours behind.
It's crazy. They don't get no any
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
upfront, do they? Nothing's ever. It's always like reactive as well from them. Isn't
Reactive, yeah, 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 yeah.
it? So from let's say the costs and things as well. Everything is obviously differently priced. Obviously, Cyber Essentials is if you got a price for that, you can share with people if they're looking for a ballpark
Oh, you've
figure to get
ca-
done.
caught me. I think it's about 400 for under 10 employees. About 500 for 20. Yeah, it's about 300, then 400. I think no, 4, 5, about that. You caught me on the hop, but roughly about that for the certification for Cyber Essentials.
Okay, and then so when it comes to your other security measures as well, this is all just dependent on obviously the situation at the time. And do you have any kind of like subscriptions they can pay as well for the security?
So we have a subscription model for our base one, which is just to fall under our umbrella. Costs about 50 quid a month, but for that we can guarantee will save you money on any of your security expenditure. So the way security is delivered, we can save money on that just by changing the way it's delivered, and then have our quarterly security and focus meetings, in which we sort of start to align you to continuous improvement from a security point of view. So understanding where the incidents are and how to improve it, making sure it's all aligned with your security goals. We have an enhanced, which is 100 quid a month. And that's a bit more, and we look at a bit more about recovery, reaction. If things go wrong, what's your plan should things go wrong? And then we have the comprehensive one, which is 250 quid a month, and that's all singing, all dancing, a full security analysis of the business, and secure, fully balanced, and reduced risk as low as practically possible for the business, which is fantastic. But the reality is, no one's ever asked for it. Shouldn't say
There's
that,
plenty of
but there you
options
go.
anyway, isn't there?
So yeah,
There's plenty of options for them anyway.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. But it's about finding solutions for the problems they're having, rather than.
Exactly. So if people wanted to contact you, obviously they can find you on the hub. They can find you on LinkedIn, and you're part of other groups. Where else can they find you?
Yeah, so absolutely, Manufacturers Hub, we're on there. So please dive in and have a look for us there. We're on LinkedIn, Equilibrium Risk, or we're on Connex Portal as Equilibrium Risk as well. They're the main sort of hubs we're a member of.
And you're
You
quite
can,
active at going to shows as well, aren't you?
yeah. So we've got Southern Manufacturing, which we're coming up. We've got Manufacturing Engineering Week, TCT. We've got Interplas, Mac, which is coming up this year, Advanced Engineering at the end of the year. So yeah, got a few shows coming up.
So if people obviously want to come and talk to you, they can see you at any of these shows.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Tap me up on LinkedIn. We can have a coffee.
Sounds good. Is there anything you want to add, obviously, to the end of this, for manufacturers looking for security measures? Anything you want to add to it?
Not really. We're there to provide solutions for problems, and that's it, I suppose. Happy to help solve any problems they have. Can
That's
you
good.
see me
Well,
jumping down? Can you see
just
my chair?
lowering it
Do you look at?
slightly. You'll be off
I'm
the
just
off the
lowering.
camera in a minute.
I'll be like that in a minute.
One big question is, what's the treat this week? What's Friday's treat this week?
Do you know what? I don't know. I think what did we do last? We did triple chocolate brownie. I don't know. I don't generally decide until Wednesday, Thursday. We have a quick chat about it, and then we sort of organise to go and get it. What do you fancy? What do you recommend?
I don't know, I still said about the I said to you before about those Aldi cookies are very soft. They're very nice. I do like them.
Aldi cookies.
Aldi cookies, they're very soft. You go to some supermarkets and the cookies are like rock solid, like cardboard. But the Aldi ones are
Ah,
quite soft.
they're in the little bag, aren't they? Bag of
Yeah,
4.
yeah.
Ah, okay, right.
But for anyone that doesn't know, Luke does this this treat Friday, and
The
it's cakes or any kind of sweet treats every Friday.
the problem is, so we have a friend. Do you know Christoph? Do you know
Yeah, I
Christoph?
think so. Yeah,
Stuff convert, so he does convert design, he's a design engineer, fantastically clever guy, but he's French, and he has a go at me every time if we have substandard treats, like a little treat or an Aldi treat or whatever. He's like, no, that's not a treat, he wants me to spend 20 quid.
I know someone one of the other manufacturers on the or the suppliers, so I say on the hub, they have air fryer Fridays, and it's a cooked meal.
Really?
Yeah, it's proper extravagant meals sometimes. Air fryer Fridays,
Air fry, that's good.
whether it's
Right,
a
okay.
fry up or whether it's a decent meal. Is there some certain things to cook? So I'm quite impressed what they get out of the air fryer. I could just see you dropping down more,
You can notice it, can't you?
lowering the tone of this conversation. Well,
You're gonna have
Luke,
to edit this.
fantastic to have you on. It's great to
Thanks
hear
for
more about
inviting.
obviously what you do. And say for everyone, obviously you want to reach out to Luke. I say LinkedIn. He said obviously the other hubs and stuff he's part of. But great to have you on, Luke. Anyway, and this should obviously be on our channels. So
Thanks for inviting me. I really enjoyed it.
you're welcome. Thank you.
If you want more customers, you've got two choices. You either pay for Google Ads or you hope that you're within the top 10 on Google search.
There's over 100,000 manufacturing businesses in the UK, but how do they get found? I had that problem working for an engineering company in Essex with no marketing budget. How could new customers find us?
My name's Kevin and I'm the co-owner of Manufacturers Hub, and we've come up with a solution to get your business found online. Join us today to boost your online presence. Click the sign up link.